space shuttle is good to go for tomorrow's early morning launch. Endeavour is scheduled to lift off very early tomorrow morning. I misspoke earlier, not 3:39, but 4:39 a.m. Eastern Time, to be exact, on the mission to the International Space Station. Its crew of 6 will deliver a new room to the station, as well as a one-of-a-kind observation deck built in Italy. It is the first of NASA's 5 final shuttle missions. And, of course, Fox News will carry the launch live. Now, tomorrow's launch comes just days after a space policy shakeup by the Obama administration. Back in August 2008, candidate Obama criticized the Bush administration for its lack of funding to NASA. Listen.
And today we have an administration that sets ambitious goals for NASA without giving NASA the support it needs to reach them. As a result, NASA's had to cut back on research, trim their program, which means that after the space shuttle shuts down in 2010, we're going to have to rely on Russian spacecrafts to keep us in orbit.
Well, President Obama killed off the Constellation program this week. That was the current plan to go back to the moon and beyond. With the space shuttle program ending this year, are we ceding control of space to the Russians or the Chinese? Joining me now to talk about this and other things, Utah Congressman Bob Bishop. It's good to have you here, Congressman.
Thank you.
The shuttle, it was our heavy lift capability into space. It's the only thing that's on this planet that can take something to space and bring something back. Mm-hmm. It is retiring this year. The Russians are the only folks who have anything that can lift heavy objects into space. What are we going to do for a space program?
Well, the unfortunate thing is there is no follow-up plan to replace this. They're just dropping everything. So instead of sending 40 or 60 astronauts a year into space on about 5 or 6 shuttles of ours, we'll send about 4 astronauts to the edge of space, and they'll see if they can hook a Russian taxi up to the space station and back.
But isn't there a national security concern here as well?
The problem is, too, people want us not to spend as much, but they want us to spend what we do correctly, and this concept doesn't do either of them. Not only are we talking about space shuttle programs, but we are also talking about the skill set to make those rockets to lift us up to the space station and beyond are the same skill sets that defend our country and our missile system. So if you're going to cut this program, you are not only doing a serious harm to our space industry and space program, you're equally doing the same harm to our missile defense system.
Yeah, but the Russians have a robust system. It's not as sophisticated as ours was. The Chinese are coming on strong. They say they're going to the moon. Mm-hmm. I mean, are we destined for another space race when America looks around and says, oh my gosh, we are so far behind here?
I don't feel comfortable with the fact that we're going to cede space to the Russians and the Chinese. That should be common sense right there, and we don't have to do it. The Ares and Constellation program was our future into going into that particular area.
Now, isn't it?
Not necessarily.
You think Congress could step in?
Well, I'm going to hope so, because it's 20,000 jobs in the private sector that are on the line, and not just jobs. These are rare skills, the right kind of jobs that we need, not just for the space program, but I'm saying also to build our missile defense system as well. Right. It's a defense issue. The Defense Department said in a report to us last June that if you slow down this Ares Constellation program, it could have a significant negative impact on defense. If you cancel it, I'm assuming it's going to be a larger, more significant impact on defense.
To be sure, not everybody liked the Constellation program, but it was the only thing we had on the drawing board. Now we're starting over.
Well, this one idea from one rogue administrator in NASA has been picked up by the administration, but as you said, there is no backup. They have no idea what they're going to go. That is. When the space shuttle last blew up, it was a tragedy. But There are 2 things we should have learned.
Very quickly.
If you don't have a plan and you don't put safety first, you're going to have a tragedy. We don't have a plan or safety first.
Well, I could talk about this all day, but we'll have to leave it right there.
Hopefully we will in Congress for a long time, too.
I'll be watching. In other news, Sarah Palin will deliver the keynote address tonight at the National Tea Party Convention, or a National Tea Party Convention in Nashville. Some see this as a play by the former Alaska governor to become the leader of that movement. While that could boost her profile, it could also come with a downside. A Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll shows that 42% of those polled couldn't offer a positive